So after looking at this some more, and looking online, I can buy a brand new one for $105. So I think I might just buy another one, but I might also, at the same time, I'm curious about how this actually seals in here. I don't, unless the seal is on the opposite end of this thing, I don't see any way it can possibly seal. And to take it apart, what I'd have to do is make a tool. I think I'd make one out of an old spade wood bit, and just cut away one part of it and then leave two little areas to latch in here. It looks like it's just about the same thickness. And then I assume that's under pretty good tension there. But you could back this thing out and then actually see what's in there. So I might end up doing that and just buying a new one instead of, because to me, I don't really, I wonder if it had a seal up at this end and it's just lost it. So I don't really see anything to seal in this end. Unless, like I say, it's actually at the other end of this. Okay, so I'll probably end up doing that, just making this tool and taking this out just to see what's inside here. So from looking at other diagrams of this device, it looks like this here, which they call a pintle, is supposed to seal someplace in here, but I can see a long ways through here, and this is not a cone shape that'll seal against this. So I'm going to see if I can take this apart and see where the sealing surface is supposed to be in here, or if it's completely missing, because there's no way that this can seal against this, I don't think. So first I have to make my tool to do that. So what I think I'm going to do, I came up with, is I'm going to use, I have a couple of these spade bits, old spade bits. This is a 13/16, and they have a hole up a little ways for keeping them clean, but I'm going to cut out this area here and then cut across these two where the blades are to make it flat on the bottom, and then I think that'll be just about right to go in these two slots here, and then I can use a crescent wrench or something up here to grab it with to try and turn this piece out of here. So first I have to see if I can grind this old blade. Okay, so that seems to fit in there pretty snug now. So I'll have to try and get a wrench on there, find some way to mount this down so it doesn't wiggle around, and then get a wrench on there and see what it does. I actually made it the blade so that it's more applicable to turning out than going in, but I can change that also later if I need to. There goes that weird meter where it turns everything pink again. So here's the plan. It's mounted down to a sheet of plywood on a work table with wood screws and a piece of packing material under it. And then it's fitted into the edge with a crescent wrench attached to it. So I'm going to see if I can put some force on it. And then I also put a mark in here inside so I could tell if I've turned that at all, it'll line up with the mark that's on the bushing. So it does turn it, but it sounds like it turns pretty stiff, and it sounds like it's spinning the spring inside maybe. So I might try and go the other way first too a little bit. So what I decided to do is just go all the way in instead. And I was able to turn this in 2 turns, a little over 2 turns, and even with it all the way down, this still isn't seated. So I'm going to heat up the springs in there again and see if that'll completely seal that off, because right now I know it's not sealed off. I ended up actually taking the drill bit and putting it into the drill to turn it. It made it a little easier. I just had to go slowly. Okay, so I'm going to try that. Okay, so even with this seated as far as I can go, the center part, the seal, is still loose in there, so I'm assuming it's worn out. It actually looks like it's made out of rubber or some type of composite material instead of steel or brass. So if you clean these with brake clean, something like that, it'd probably eat that rubber away, I would think. So I'm just going to buy another one. I don't know if I'll bother putting this back on the car to see if that's changed anything or not. I might end up just taking it apart and seeing what's actually inside there. Okay. So as usual, my curiosity got the better of me. Even though this feels like it's not solid with it screwed all the way in there, what I decided to do, I could see down inside here that where the springs are, that there was some dirt on the other end, so I washed that out with some carb cleaner. And when I did that, I noticed I could fill up this reservoir here with carb cleaner, and it wouldn't run out past the valve. So the valve must be sealing in there someplace further in. So I think what I'm going to do is fill this back, is turn this outwards, maybe a half a turn at a time, until I can fill up this reservoir with carb cleaner, and then maybe it'll just slightly dribble out. Not very much, and that'll give it some room for these springs to expand when the hot water comes through there, and expand and seal it back up. I might even try again to turn it out, heat it up with the gun, and with the heat gun, and then test it again. My phone's ringing. I go. Something else I noticed too when I was putting that, actually I used brake clean, not carburetor cleaner, so it's a little stronger probably, but when I was putting that in there, it stripped out any of that ultra gray gasket maker. It just stripped the little bit I had on here, just peeled it right loose from this, so it'd probably be a good thing to use if you ever needed to get that gasket maker off some part. Okay, so just to recap what I've done is I screwed this in about 2 turns in, not out, and seated this down to completely shut, and then I put liquid into card cleaner into here, into this reservoir, and it wouldn't run out here. Okay, then what I did is back this off 1/2 turn, and then put carb cleaner in here again, brake clean actually, and it did flow through here. So just that 1/2 turn made a difference between it flowing in and not flowing in. So then what I did is I reheated that spring, put carb cleaner in here with that 1/2 turn, and it sealed itself off. So it should be airtight once it heats up now, I think. So being two and a half turns out, it would have never sealed. It could have never sealed itself, I don't think. So maybe this ring has just worked itself loose. I noticed on the new ones they say that they put Loctite on these seals, on these threads, just to so they must do that to prevent them from working their way out or something. Anyway, I think what I'm going to do, I'll probably end up getting a new one anyway, but I think I'm going to put this one just because of my curiosity again. I think, and it's not that hard to do, I think I'll just stick this one back on the car and see how it actually changes the idle, because that might not even be the problem that it's having as far as the idle going up and down. But I just want to see what happens. I guess that's the whole reason I take all this stuff apart anyway. Okay, see you